Hello there, welcome. My name is Delilah if you are new here, and today I am welcoming you into my home as I declutter. It is that time of year where we welcome a lot of new items into our home, but before that happens, I have made it a habit to first purge the house. I like to organize and just go through our stuff, getting rid of anything that no longer gets used, making a mental note of what we already have, and then also preparing places for the new things to go. I find this makes the Christmas season just so much easier and more enjoyable. Not so much the Christmas season, but the after Christmas season. You know, those few days between Christmas and New Year's when your home feels like chaos and you're trying to put away all of the new stuff. Planning ahead like this makes that time so much more enjoyable, and I'm not feeling burdened and overwhelmed by things, but rather I can just enjoy it. But before we can get to the decluttering, I first need to do some cleaning, some organizing. The spaces we're tackling today are mostly the toy room, the basement. I didn't really need to go into the kids' room because I had recently done that, but we are also going into the toy closet, basically all the areas where we store toys, all the game areas. Honestly, it wasn't all that bad. It was just a little bit unorganized. I have made it a habit to declutter as I go. So throughout the year, as I'm tidying up the spaces, as I'm going through their toys, as I'm doing toy rotations, I will declutter anything that I feel doesn't fit into our home anymore, anything that doesn't get played with. So I am constantly decluttering and I'm constantly reorganizing, but every once in a while it's nice to just go through everything at once and just make sure that we are in a good spot, that we don't have a lot of excess stuff that isn't being used. What you're seeing here is a filing box that I have of all the kids' artwork and projects throughout the year. I have a file for each of the kids in here, and this is where I'm storing anything that they create throughout the school year so that I can come back and reference to it. I'm trying very hard to be organized and not just allow things to pile up. This makes things a lot easier for me as a homeschooling mom, but it does take a lot of effort. It needs to be something that I make a habit out of, because I find that as a mom of 4, if I'm not on top of stuff, it just gets out of hand really fast. This is our toy chest, and I find this is one area that just gets out of hand so easily, and all the little pieces just get all over the place. So I thought I would try a different way of organizing it. I'm not sure if this is going to be a fantastic idea or maybe a disaster of idea. We're gonna see. We're gonna test it out. But instead of stacking all the puzzles on top of each other, I decided to have them standing sideways. That way we can see everything that's in there. And when they want to grab something, they don't have to dig to the bottom of the chest to dig it out. And they can just take it out and then put it back where they found it. This cabinet is like our educational type toys, toys that I will pull out for the younger kids when we're doing school so that they have something to do, something that will entertain them and engage them for a while. But I found a lot of the items in here our kids were outgrowing, but I didn't want to give them all away just yet because, I mean, Annabeth is growing up and she's gonna play with those as well when she gets a little bit older. So I ended up setting a lot of these aside in a baby toy box that you're gonna see a bit later in this video. And I did end up donating a large number of items from this cabinet as well. This cabinet is filled with a lot of toys that have small pieces. The rule with this cabinet is that if our kids want to play with something from here, awesome. But when you're done, you put it away before you take anything else out. Otherwise, it gets out of hand very quickly. This is our toy rotation closet. It's a small closet in our basement, and this is where we keep all of the toys that are out of rotation. This is the main area I wanted to go through. I found there were a number of items, such as this play tent, that were broken and in need of fixing. There were a lot of loose parts, missing parts, pieces of toys that we don't even have anymore. And I realized there were a lot of baby toys in here that my kids have outgrown. And again, I don't want to donate all of them just yet because Annabeth will use them when she gets a little bit older. So I just wanted to go through this and make sure that things in here made sense and that there wasn't stuff in here that didn't need to be in here. I thought I could just kind of go through it and reorganize it, but after looking at some of the stuff, I figured, you know, it's probably best just to take everything out of the closet and organize it properly. It makes it a lot easier when I can see everything that we have and then bring it all back in. And it gave me a chance to clean out this closet as well. So this is our toy collection. These are all the toys that we do not have in rotation at the moment, and I realized a lot of them are actually baby toys. I started first by just going through all of the sets and making sure all the pieces were there, making sure all the pieces were in their proper place within those sets. And as I was going through this, if there was any piece that was missing from a set or missing from something, I put it in this one basket that I ended up going through as well. And then eventually I got around to this one basket that I had kind of been dreading. For a long time now, I have been putting pieces into this basket. Whenever I found a piece that was not where it belonged, it went into here. So eventually I went through this. I realized a lot of the pieces in this basket were from toys we no longer had or I couldn't find. And then as I was going through this stuff, I remembered that I had a box of baby toys in our storage room, and I'm not really sure why I ever ended up putting that box of baby toys in there because it just doesn't even make sense because we have no other toys in there. Like, all of our toys are here, so it only made sense that this box of baby toys should be in this room. And as I was going through this box, I ended up donating a lot of these things because a lot of these toys my babies didn't really play with. And I mean, how many toys does a baby need, you know? And then any of the toys that I felt my older three had outgrown, I stored into here. So that way when Annabeth is a little bit older, I know exactly where her age-appropriate toys are, and I can reach for them there. Once I had gone through everything, I started putting everything back into the closet, including that box of baby toys. What you don't see is a lot of me just kind of standing around and pondering, trying to figure out what works best, a lot of rearranging, a lot of time spent trying to figure out what the best plan of action is. You see all of the final results in these videos, so a lot of the time I feel like it just looks very simple and easy to do, but it takes a lot of thought and effort, and I find after a day of decluttering, I am so decision fatigued, but so satisfied because it just looks so much better. This was the pile of toys that I was either donating or putting into a memory box or putting somewhere where it belonged because it wasn't where it belonged in the first place, or toys that needed to be thrown away or fixed. Now the basement area doesn't have a lot of toys, but at this moment there were a lot of toys with small pieces, so it looked really bad. There was just Duplo everywhere, there was ball pit balls everywhere, but really there weren't a lot of toys and there really wasn't anything to declutter from this area. It just needed a really good tidying. Most of the toys down here are bigger toys. This is kind of the area where they come and they run around and they get their energy out. And we love having this area for that reason. We feel so blessed and grateful to have this extra space, especially in the wintertime when we aren't able to go outside as much. While we were down here tidying up, I decided to do a little bit of a toy rotation as well. We took out the ball pit, we brought out the pickler triangle, and just rearranged a few things. Come January, we actually plan on doing a mini renovation down here. We have left this area virtually untouched since we've moved in, but we want to make this area more inviting and more suitable to our needs. We are planning on doing a little bit of a makeover down here this winter, and we are very excited about it. This is the small collection of toys that did not belong in the basement, that either belonged upstairs or we needed to give it away or we needed to give it to somebody else because it wasn't actually our own. Around this time, Zach had gone through the van and pulled out the 2 bins that we have in there. We have a bin for books, we have a bin for toys. And over time it just accumulated things like this doll bottle that was filled with rocks. A lot of garbage, a lot of broken things of small pieces. I found a little Lego chicken, like just so much random, so much random stuff. It was just time that these got a good clean out and a little bit of a rotation as well. Every once in a while I like to switch out the books that they're reading in the van just to keep things fun and interesting. So I swapped out some of the books that they had in there. And I also decided to add a few extra toys to the toy bin too. These LCD writing tablets are one of the best things that we bought. We bought these before we went on a big road trip this spring, and they have been so well used. 2 exhausting days of decluttering later, and these are the donations I came up with. Not a lot, just a few toys that I felt really weren't getting a lot of use. Now, as my kids get older, I am finding the decluttering process to be a lot more challenging. When they were younger, they didn't really notice, they didn't really care, but as they get older, these toys, they're their prized possessions, you know, they're special to them, they're important to them. And so one way that I show respect to them is not just donating things under their noses, but first showing them what I've collected to donate and then discussing it with them, letting them know why I feel this is something that should be donated, and then allowing them to have their say in it as well. This does make it a little bit more challenging to actually donate stuff. But I think it's very important to include them in the process as well. After all was said and done, I felt that there were just a couple more areas of my home that I really wanted to go through. Not big areas, just some smaller areas that I wanted to tackle, so I thought I'd include that in this video as well. While I was on this decluttering spree, I might as well just get it all done now. So one of those areas was our bathroom vanity. Not the whole thing, honestly, just a few drawers, my drawers. I realized the other day the way I had it organized just didn't really make sense, and so I wanted to go through it. It was starting to, pile up and overflow anyway, so it was time that I just went through it and organized it properly. So in order for me to do that, I always find it's best just to take everything out and reassess. I really don't have the best organizing system either. Like, the containers I have don't fit my products very well, but I'm just using whatever I have on hand. I didn't feel it was necessary to go and buy a bunch of stuff just to reorganize my drawers. So I used what I had and I made it work. But the way that I organize this now just makes a lot more sense and is a lot more neat and tidy. Right now we are renovating our main bathroom. So all of our stuff as well as the kids' stuff is in this bathroom. This bathroom doesn't have a lot of storage, but we also don't have a lot of stuff. Like I don't have a lot of makeup, I don't have a ton of skincare, I don't have a ton of products. So it totally works to just store everything in this one vanity as long as I can keep it organized. The next room that needed some love was Annabeth's room, the nursery. The kids' rooms I find often get neglected because those rooms are often in use. Like Annabeth often takes naps here, and so I'm not easily able to come in here and clean it out. But it needs some proper organization every once in a while. We had bought in diapers and wipes. I had laundry to put away, things to do in here. It just didn't happen because whenever I had a chance to do it, Annabeth was having a nap. So while she was having a nap in my room, I figured this would be the perfect opportunity to just quickly get in here and do some organizing. Slowly but surely, I've been adding little girly touches to this bedroom. I had this thrifted frame that I didn't know where to put, but I knew I wanted it in this room. So I was just rearranging, figuring some things out. I decided it looked really cute on the shelf, which was easy and simple. Now this room is our mud room. It's also our laundry room. It's kind of where we store some cleaning supplies and some rags and garbage bags, laundry stuff, things like that. And we don't have the best organizing system in here. I've just thrifted a bunch of random baskets over the years, and we've been using whatever I've managed to find to store our things. And then because it is higher up on the shelf, it tends to get disorganized very quickly because we kind of just throw stuff in there. We don't really look to see where we're putting things. And it's just, you know, it gets out of hand. So it was time that I went through it and made sure that things were put away properly. I ended up not really decluttering a lot of stuff. I did throw away some rags. Actually, a lot of the rags that were in here that were just too dirty to use in the house, I ended up putting in the garage so that Zach can use them for the super dirty outside stuff, vehicle stuff. And then I just made sure that each of these baskets makes sense. They each have a category so that when we reach for something, we kind of know which basket to reach for instead of just taking a wild guess and hoping that the thing we're looking for is in that basket. The next big project in our home is going to be this room, and I have some big plans for some better organization in here, which I am very excited about, but that one's gonna have to wait a while because we've got a lot of projects on the go already. And that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this gave you some inspiration to declutter your own home. This is what we ended up donating. Honestly, not bad. Usually we end up with a lot more stuff, and I'm very happy with what I managed to do. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.